got a little bit more of B-side footage. So if that video was a little bit on the shorter side, I'll give you a bit of this. So I'm in Istanbul, obviously. See the Turkish flag there. And currently at Galata Tower, which is a famous monument here. Lots of people taking photos. It's known as a very early stage lookout spot of the Turks. Make sure no one's coming to hustle their stuff off them. Will they be friends? Will they be foes? They can sit up there and tell who's on the way. So I'm just taking for a walk. We've got some time. Just walking back to my hotel to charge my battery, which will soon be flat, and to get some lunch. So it's kind of entering into lunchtime now. So these cafes, which are everywhere, start to all fill up. And of course, there's so many. It is certainly a city of cafes and restaurants, is Istanbul. And this is obviously a very touristy district. You can tell the different genetics everywhere. Different genetics. Also motorbikes. If you see some prices, I'll just let you know that the exchange rate's around 18 lira to 1 USD. If you see something for 18 lira, it is indeed $1 US. So this is very Istanbulish down here. Long, windy road, lots of stuff on each side. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Very typical laneway in Istanbul. So let me go back up the hill here. It's getting quite crowded, a bit more complicated to navigate without stabbing someone with my gimbal here. You can start to hear that call to prayer. Some random stray cats. Little kitten. We're kind of on the quieter side here. Universal language WC water closets. So we're in Taksim, we're just walking up towards Taksim Square. It's around 1 kilometre away. Actually had to stop off and buy a rechargeable battery as well. Second one. To help with my filming, of course. So I'll do that on the way as well. Saw one in the shop yesterday. Trying to get a SIM card here is a bit of a challenge because they have SIM cards for locals or foreigners. And if you want to get in the foreigner path, it's like 30 bucks, which is crazy when you can buy a meal for 2. So I walked into the shop thinking I might get a SIM card or something. I mean, it's really not that much money to be fair, but you just feel like the company's got their hand up your butt, you know. It's like, yeah. Yeah. So, but I did notice they had a lot of external batteries in there, and I do need another one. My other external battery's gone down to probably 1 charge per full charge, you know. Because you want to be able to get at least a few charges out of an external battery, ideally. This is absolute peak tourist area. Although here, a bit further up, 500 meters up, and it will just be insanely busy. Hear that? Again, the call to prayer very audible. We must be right near a mosque. Interesting contrast between Belarus In Belarus, everyone's trained to walk on the right side. Everyone walks on the right, drives on the right, everything's on the right side. You know where to go. If you're headed towards, like here for example, I would go to the right, but I can see they're not really watching. Maybe different in their culture, so just do whatever you can to get out of the way. Stop a collision. I'm on the right now. I feel good now. Feels like I'm in Minsk. I'm on the right side. Alright, if everyone else goes on the right side, very good. So pretty typical tourist stuff here. As you can see. I'll take a stop. Just kind of here, I'll nestle in. Oops, after these ladies. This couple. I'll stop and tilt the camera up a little bit. Give you more of an upwards look. That constant contrast that you get in this part of Istanbul. You have the call to prayer, and then of course the Coca-Cola fridge.
No?
Interesting contrasts. But so try to get at the top here without getting too run over. Bit of I forget what this guy's doing. He's going to turn left and he's going to turn right now. So I can go in the middle. Show what's going on here. You can walk up. Some clothes shops in this region. Plenty of juice as well. Sometimes in tourist areas it can feel like copy and paste, you know. Have 5 shops and just copy and paste the same 5 shops over and over and over and start to feel like that after a little while. And it does here a little bit. Another music shop. This is your classic touristy kind of shop here. Your Istanbul number plate. And other fridge magnets and key rings and all this kind of jazz. A little sideway there, cafe. As I just said, another music shop. There's 3 in the last little bit. Zoom just a bit too much. Let me come out a fraction. Got a few paintings here. So.
Şey yap, Mecidiyeköy yap, oranın yolu daha basit çünkü. Şimdi yanlış yola falan demiyor.
We're kind of reaching the point in the road where it changes from this little cobblestone to this kind of more easier to walk on and a bit wider, made for foot traffic here. You can see this is where it gets really busy. So if you are an avid people watcher, I am here for you. This is exactly what you want right now. Some ice cream cones along with kebab there. So we're walking northwards, I imagine, are we?
Back up to Taksim Square.
Towards Taksim Square, anyway. I think northwards, yeah. That's towards the river, yeah, it's towards. From south to north, we're walking away from the water. Towards
Actually
Taksim
walking
Square.
along the water, the water's just here.
Cool.
To our right.
Well, in which case we may even be going east to west or west to east. I haven't even quite been here for 24 hours yet. So not quite got in the bearings.
other parts of the
I think
world?
so. I think I've seen it in England actually.
Okay.
Quite near. In fact, I think it might be in like places like Poland and stuff as well. I'll stop here for a bit and just let you soak it all in because it really can be sensory overload here. Just going to sit back, let you watch all the sides. Usual photo bombing going on. I have to confess I do a fair bit of photo bombing myself, which for a man of my age is a bit embarrassing, but I just can't help myself. Oh, he says magical words there, Turkish delight. Let us cross over here. So this is the tram line, of course, or the famous red tram. You can see the density of people walking ahead. Pretty crazy. So I'm just going to quickly dart in here. And you have Turkish delight and baklava. There's a lot of baklava at Kemerovka Market. There's these Afghan ladies who have a store there that I go and buy my baklava from. It was around 200 a kilo, 200 lira, it's around 11, 12 US dollars. At the other place, I think this will be a bit more pricey. That's the Turkish delight there. Turkish baklava. So I'll keep walking up to Taksim Square. It's about another 10 minutes or so. Maybe a fraction more. I'm walking fairly slowly because it's just busy. It's busy and navigating traffic can be somewhat of a challenge. But having a camera is a little bit like having a gun. Not as severe, but has a similar effect. People can't get out of your way. We're being polite and civil, which is great. So about this little bit of wind pick up here. Of course, you can see the potential for this to become a bit of a wind tunnel. You can see the higher buildings here on a narrow, it's not super narrow, but on the narrow side. What do you think the norm is? I just saw those two ladies arm in arm. I'm not sure what that means exactly here. But what is I don't see a great deal of public affection. Have you pondered this or spoken to anyone about this?
Typically there's more. I just think maybe...
There's more.
I think more so, but yeah, it's not that busy right now, and it's a weekday. People mainly at work. A lot more like single people. Typically at night, it's more families.
Yeah.
Their kids.
Hello.
This makes a lot of sense. So, which Turkish words have you learned?
So in Turkey, you can definitely get away with just having English.
Yep.
You know, it depends if you actually want to learn the language. If you can, it'll be pretty easily, but I haven't felt the need to because you can get away with English.
What's the alphabet like? Is it similar sounds? No. Just tell me the words you know. I heard you say some words before.
The only word I know is thank you, which is teşekkürler.
Teşekkürler.
Yeah, teşekkürler.
Teşekkürler. Teşekkürler.
SH.
I like this word.
CH. Yeah, it's cool. You just say it just to be polite. Say thank you in English and people will know what you're talking about. But
Of course, yeah. That's the first word you learn almost
yeah.
in English. Yeah, it's a tricky one. A little bit of, this is where I can get my battery from. I'll do is I'll just film to the door and then I'll press stop and I'll buy my battery, and then I'll come back out, and as I exit I'll press record again for you guys. In fact, I'll actually just show you what's inside. Some batteries I saw yesterday as I was contemplating buying a SIM card. Oh, look at that queue. Oh no, hopefully I can get in on that side. So looking at maybe this one should be okay, I think. So this is 11,000, 3.7 charges roughly. This is about, she's only $11 US for branded. I wonder if it's, oh, they won't let me take it. It's locked on. I have to get someone to get it for me. Let's look for a person. Okay, I'll press stop now and I'll catch up with you guys on the way back out again. Alright, got myself that nice external battery, and it was actually the wrong price. It was $3.99, which is $22-ish US dollars. Should be very, very handy. I'd charge it up and be one of those dudes that walks around filming with a charger popping out. People know I'm hardcore, man. Oh, people know I'm hard. I film a lot. And I need external batteries. Actually, the day I bought my gimbal in Minsk from Galleria, I went over and did some filming at a festival thing going on. And this guy had the selfie stick underneath the gimbal. And it was the gimbal I had. Then he had all these cords coming out, recharging as he was filming. And I'm like, holy shit, man. You're the most hardcore man that I've ever seen in my life. I want to be like you. Alright, just trash talking, obviously. I can press pause for a moment. So this traffic's getting very interesting, this foot traffic. So many people from so many places. It's good fun. Just cut the footage there very briefly. So yeah, really peak time now. It's kind of lunchtime. Probably busier last night, but still very busy now. Never-ending stream of tourists, right? Never-ending stream. Never-ending flow of tourists, endless tourists coming to Istanbul. Let's see a money changer here. My advice for you is, if you can, avoid changing money until you get to the city centre. The airport, I mean, everyone knows airports are more expensive for everything, of course. But this was next level. Like the buy-sell spread here is about 1%, right? So you can see the buy-sell spread here, 18.3, 18.7, like literally 1% either side. In the airport, it was 20% either side. So it'd be like 15 and 21. See the top there, buy-sell USD? It was like 15.21 in the airport rather than 18.3, 18.7. So save your money, please. And even the ATM at the airport had a 10% commission. It's like, what kind of organised crime racket is this? Jeez. It's paid by your card until you get to the city centre, then change over your USD. Change that USD over, baby. Another few hundred meters to Taksim Square. Got some more baklava here. So you can see this kind of, as I was saying before, this kind of copy and pasting of shops. It's kind of get the same thing over and over again. Western influence, Zara. It's kind of everywhere. Interesting mix of local and of American Western. Nice sunny day today. It's early October 2022 as I'm filming this. I'm not sure when I'll upload it or what it'll be a part of when I upload it, but it's getting some interesting footage. Watch this little guy here, obviously pickpocketing this little fella. Let's keep an eye on him. Pretty low crime Turkey in the scheme of things, I have to say. I mean, I've just come from Minsk yesterday, and of course Minsk is not low crime, it's no crime. So anything outside of Minsk, you kind of just get your guard up a bit, but I've seen fairly quickly, and speaking to my friend as well, there's not a lot of crime here. It's quite low crime, considering. But yeah, that kid obviously pickpocketing. Work our way across here. I love how the traffic just feels each other. You know, you feel each other in the traffic and you just flow. You don't need red lights or green lights, you just flow. You make eye contact with the driver and you work out who's going first. It's not too difficult to do. Yeah, 5 minutes up the Taksim Square here. Hope you're enjoying the footage today. Brought to you by me. While I'm on my holiday, I can show you what I'm seeing. So Istanbul is, like, even if you haven't been here before, I think people instinctively know that it's a very busy kind of place. It's very cosmopolitan on some level anyway. Somewhat cosmopolitan. Oh, we're about to run into people here. Oh, scooter. Very cosmopolitan environment. And for Belarusians, they don't have any options at the moment. As I film this of where they can go. So this gives them somewhere to go. In fact, I know a Belarusian person who's been to Turkey 8 times. They're like, yeah, well, I'll go to Turkey again, so I don't have many choices. So back to down to Antalya, and that's your holiday. Or Egypt, right again. Options, close range options, somewhat limited. So we're right down the middle here. This tram line, really soak in as much as possible. Nice energy too, you know, good vibes. Everyone's happy on holidays. Most people are foreign. Hey, he wants to say hello. He was actually the same guy who yelled at us earlier, as I recall. Have you ever had interaction with police here?
Yep.
What
police,
happened?
Actually, not in
Istanbul.
Well, I actually had to do a police report. That's a whole other story. But,
oh, okay, yeah. All right, we won't go into that.
The other one was I went to Izmir, and I was in a very it's like mixed neighborhood. The best food I've actually had, probably in a city. And you know, cop car was driving down the street. I just politely got off the road. He stopped, put the window down, and asked him to see my passport. Okay. And I was literally like, oh well, my passport's at my hostel. You can go, you can come with me there if you want. And then he's like, oh, don't worry about it. Yeah. Wind up the window again, just drove off.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, you get like sort of casual.
He kind of called his bluff, didn't you? Really? Like he can't really be bothered, but it's his job, so he's supposed to ask you.
Yeah.
But then, like, he's not actually committed enough to. And why would you? Because you're clearly just a tourist. Why would you waste your time? Cost you and get all these kebab things. Look at that. Mama on the right hand side there. That must be 60, 70 kilos. Holy shizzle. That thing is massive. How much pleasure in 2 sticks of meat you cannot imagine. Oh yes, please. Yeah, I haven't had much interaction with the police at all in Belarus. In fact, no direct, other than there was this punch on actually. I was in a kind of very working class kind of restaurant outside, and this lady was yelling all kinds of stuff. She was very drunk with this guy. Now the guy she was with was really ripped, but the girl is like yelling out. And I actually said to the guy, can you tell her to stop, please? It's really just too much politely, of course, very politely. And he's like, yes, of course, da-da-da. And he knows. And he told her to shut up. She shut up for a bit. Then she started again. She's telling everyone to go F themselves and picking on people on tables. And then she started yelling at this large group of people. And this girl just got up. And she just king hit this girl. And the girl went straight onto the ground. And then started kicking her. And then her friend came over. They both started kicking her in the head. And then eventually they stopped. They got up. And this girl, the guy didn't do anything. That's just between girls, right? The guy, because there was other 3 or 4 guys on the other table. And everyone's just letting the girls do it. Cool, they stopped. And then the drunk girl, who's mouthing off and causing all the trouble, she got up, back on the chair, a bit bruised, starts mouthing off again. And then this time a guy wants to smash her. And then the girls are trying to hold the guy back, because it was funny watching it, because you can see that she's stirring everyone up, and you can just see them slowly hit red. You know what I mean? You can see them getting annoyed, and they hit red, and then you got to hold them back, otherwise they're just going to kill them. So he was stopped, but then the girls went back again, and she just king hit this girl again. She fell off her table again, and then I forget how it happened exactly, but the men ended up started fighting as well. And then before you knew it, they were all throwing tables and chairs at each other. And then me and my mate have kind of grabbed the lady to just get her out of there. And then she had this little dog, so we like grabbed the dog, like, come on, your dog's here, let's go, come on. Just get her the fuck out of there, because she's causing all the trouble, this lady, right? Just drunk, mouthy idiot. But anyway, the guy got involved, of course, so women started, men finished, right, this stuff, obviously, and the men get in trouble and get beaten up, and the girls just fucking whatever, get their thrills. So this girl, this guy, he was taking about 4 guys, but it was a really narrow passageway there. So they couldn't, like, multiple attacker theory, right? They could only line up to get him, rather than surround him, because as soon as you got a group against one, you surround them, right? You don't go in line, and if you're the individual with 2 or 3 guys attacking you, you make sure you try and push them into a line, right? Just back from my, I won't say how I know all that stuff, but yeah. That's the basic theory. So he was lucky enough to be in this position, and so he was kind of okay, but they're picking up the chairs and they're picking up the tables. And this guy copped 1 punch. Bad one, he fell over. Hello. So this guy copped a good punch, went down, blood started pissing out, and at this stage it's ridiculous. Probably 8 of the 10 tables being picked up and thrown, and it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, we're trying to eat our dinner here, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just 7 o'clock on an evening, and believe me, this is very uncommon in Belarus. Like, you get drunk people, but they don't usually mouth off. Yeah, like some guys might get really wasted, but they're pretty civil when they're drunk. You know what I mean? Very civil, actually, really, when they're drunk. Which reflects the culture in general, but, you know, this girl was a friggin' nut job, obviously. Probably had some mental health, whatever. So anyway, for that, the cops came, and they were very professional, they were relaxed. They just asked if anyone has the footage on their mobile phone, can we see it? And one girl came forward, yeah, I recorded it, here you go. And then she looked on the phone, they could just see on the phone what happened, who they need to look for, and they sent out some other cops to try and find, the offenders. They found them all, rounded them up. They had an ambulance there within a couple of minutes, cops there within a couple of minutes. It was all very professional, I have to say. They didn't ask, well, they just asked if we have any footage, and we're like, no, we don't. And that was kind of it. I'm not sure what happened to these guys, though, who got charged and for how long, and sometimes the jail sentences can be a little bit interesting in places like Belarus. Bit of tourist fun over here. See what's going on here. So that was my only interaction with police, but I've had a couple of mates be fined and actually talk their way out of it, like you said. Just kind of, well, not talk their way out of it, you know, somewhat. And I was going to get fined, but then they didn't.
Actually, I was in Kadıköy, which is a little town around the Bosphorus in Istanbul. And a full-on fight broke out. This guy was having, obviously I can't understand the language, but they're having a fight with this other guy, and like people were throwing chairs, and freaking full-on bottles were swung.
Oh wow!
Somehow, miraculously, no one got hurt.
No
Bottles
blood.
Missed. No blood. The chairs all missed.
No chair. Okay.
Yeah, but somehow, yeah, no actual.
That's interesting. Oh, they were throwing the chairs, because the Belarusian guys were, they were like, yeah, swinging over the guy's head. Like, they were really, Yeah, this guy was a real street fighter, the one who got punched.
Yeah.
He had a lot of fighting knowledge. He was very fast on his feet and incredibly ripped. You know those guys that have so much muscle, but not that much muscle, but actually they got a lot because they got no fat at all in their arms. So I remember I was like grabbing it one day trying to pull him off another guy, and I could feel his arms. I'm like, holy fuck, this guy's got arms like cement. Like literally, I'm like, what the hell? And again, you can see the way he was moving his feet so quick and so deliberate that he has a lot of training in this kind of space. So I think these guys kind of knew what they were doing. And the other guys were like kind of thuggy. Like they had a few fights in their time too. So they were just putting directly over the heads of these guys. It's really quite bizarre. It was like this conveyor belt. Next chair, bang, next chair, bang, next chair, bang, next table, bang. It was just like making it the whole way through the restaurant. Anyway. So what happened there? They just kind of had a bit of a fight. Nothing much happened. The cops came or not? Or no?
The girlfriend was trying to like rip him away and had a few of his mates hold him back. And everyone was just watching. Since I've been traveling, I've just been seeing just comical fights. Like
really?
Just comical. Like,
so I don't know what they're doing. I think it's okay.
So absurd that the fighting is
absurd
funny.
In what way?
Well, for instance, I was in Nepal and there's this guy and these two guys are fighting with, one had like a huge log and the other had like a massive like hut. And it was just ridiculous. Sort of like a cartoon. And
cartoon because it was so outrageous to have these weapons, or they just kind of didn't know what they were doing? They were just angry?
They're outrageous to have these weapons, they were angry.
Like this kind of thing is
somehow no one gets hurt. I can't even.
I feel like if they don't have actual training in these things, I think this stuff will never go too far out of hand. As long as no one's got a gun or a knife or something.
Yeah.
Alright, nearly at Taksim Square. That's it, just there actually.
Yep.
So I'll just pop you up here, give you a little bit of a bird's eye for a sec. Bird's eye view. It's going to get really busy here. So I'll keep this up a little bit higher. You can have your position in the sky. It's getting pretty busy now. This is a real flow now. So a big topic in Belarus is the beauty of the local women. Although it's saying that, the men are quite decent too actually, to be fair. So this is something that foreigners want to talk about, local guys I want to talk about as well, is of some interest, that they're quite beautiful. And again, the men are quite good too, but maybe not as good on average. What do you think about Turkish men and women? You've been here 3 months, how would they compare to say Australian men and women? In terms of appearance, that's roughly a little bit better, a lot better, a little bit worse, a lot worse.
I think it comes down to personal preference, really, end of the day.
Okay. If you could apply some kind of objective level to it, what do you think it would be? Even if it doesn't suit your tastes and preferences, how would you think it would rate globally? Just while you do that, I'm going to show some of these sweets. Oh, is that San Sebastian?
That's our San Sebastian.
There it is.
Yeah.
So we just had this in a cafe. Classic Turkish delight there. So fairly similar to Australians in terms of beauty for men and women, or better or worse, or can't really tell?
I can't really tell, to be honest. I mean, it's just a completely different ballpark.
Yeah, right.
Lots more different factors.
Yeah. Sounds like you just don't want to say it in public, which is fair enough. Can you tell Mr. Splinter's here? You know this saying, splinters?
No.
Because you're sitting on the fence, so you get splinters up your butt crack. Mr. Splinters. Some old school Aussie. I'm actually going to do a video when I'm back in Melbourne in a month's time. I'm actually going to make a video with Australian sayings and kind of get in contact with my most Aussie mates and try to get all the sayings together. Because you got things like dry as a dead dingo's donga, right? Like, what the fuck is that? Where did that come from? Who figured out that dead dingoes have dry dongas? You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is the biggest ones I've ever seen. This must be close to 100 kilos.
So this is like a really popular place to eat.
Oh, these are the outside eating ones.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
there's a few that go right sort of all the way around the corner.
Yeah.
And you have these wet burgers. They're about 10 lira. Sort of like
What's a wet burger?
a wet burger. It's like a burger that's like sort of wet. I don't know. It's got a
Come
bit
on,
of-
man.
Like it's just got
Burger
some
that's
meat.
wet.
It's got a bit of meat
What-
in it.
what
It's a
makes
bit
it wet?
greasy. It's
Oh, it's oily.
It's just oily. Yeah, oily. And it's sort of like you'd only have when you're drunk. When
Yeah.
you had a few and it's cheap. They're sort of famous in a way.
Yeah,
it's real
looks like
distinct smell
iconic.
you have here.
Oh yeah, you can actually smell the fat. When you can smell the fat, higher fat content than normal kebabs. You can smell it. You can feel it in the back of your throat actually.
Yeah.
You smell it. All right. Well, it's a bit windy here, guys. Sorry if you can feel this blowing going on. I do apologise for that. I do like to not use a microphone. I like to keep things natural because I like to, feel, and smell, and sense what's around. So I'm trying to share that with you as well. So I'll say goodbye. If you did enjoy the footage today, do give me a like. It lets me know what you do like, so I know to make more videos like that. If you are a subscriber, I do thank you and appreciate spending some more time with you. If you're not a subscriber, you, my friend, have to have a good hard look at yourself. There's a big juicy red subscribe button right in front of you. Just look down, it's right there. Press it and you will have eternal happiness.